and welcome to another episode of Pieces of Time. Another video, and this time, another watch. Today, we have for you the GD-350. My first proper, what I would call, proper G-Shock. I've owned a G-Steel before. I've done a review on that on the channel. But today I'm going to do a review of this, which is the original. It's as far away as possible as you can get from this Rikita, which I'm wearing today. This is a vintage Rikita. But what I'm going to do is, this is going to be my daily beta watch. I've actually been wearing it at this point for a couple of months, and it is keeping magnificent time. It is a real handsome piece of horological specimen. So let's have a little look at it and go through the function of it as quickly as possible, and then you can make an informed decision on whether you would like to buy one. So here it is, the Casio G-Shock GD-350. Okay, it is, I think, an extremely handsome watch. I wanted, with this watch, what I wanted when I bought it was a vibrating watch, essentially. But I also wanted a G-Shock. And I also wanted the illumination. I wanted a stealth look. And I wanted a quick start timer. Yeah. I also wanted auto illumination. Okay, as you can see there, the LT is illuminated. And that means you get auto illumination when you tilt your wrist. That lasts, I think it lasts for about 10 hours. I'm not sure. I usually put it on at night, but in the next day it switches itself off. It has got an interesting little second and minute display function here as well, which is nice. But what I really like about this watch, apart from the looks and everything else, I really love everything about it. It's one of my favourite. It's now one of my favourite everyday watches. Is the timer function. Now you'll notice it's set on 20 minutes. In work, I get a 20-minute break, so I set it on 20 minutes. And when I clock out for my break, I set it on 20 minutes, and I know how long I'm having for my break. Now that is important to me, and it's something that, you know, when you own a watch, when you've bought a watch specifically for a function, it's very important that it works, and it works very well. A single button start. Okay. And the button is actually a different style of button, so that you know which one to press. You can press it in the dark if you wish. Let's go through some functions. So you've got the light button at the bottom. Sorry, just there. This, as you know, from the main screen, starts the timer, the countdown timer. Doesn't do anything else. Once that countdown timer's on, you can't do anything else with that. Same with the reset. It doesn't reset it. Yeah, you skip through the modes. So we've got world time, which is altered up and down, not just one way, up and down, with these two buttons, up or down, down or up, whichever way you want to look at that. You've got an alarm function. This cycles through the alarms. There are 6 alarms. As you can see, 5 alarms, sorry, and then there's a signal button. Off, or signal. Okay. Back to the alarms. The one, I'm sure, oh no, it's not with this watch, is it? Or is it? Yeah. So one of the alarms is a snooze alarm. Sorry, I get confused with my watches. Which is the last one, and then you can have a daily or one-time alarm. So you can have that set as daily alarm, and it will vibrate every morning on your wrist. which is good if you were going camping and you didn't want to take your watch off or something like that, which we do camping. There you go. And all of those alarms are the same, except for the 5th, which is a snooze alarm. Never actually use that function, I'll be honest with you. I get up when my alarm goes off. Okay. So there it is. Back to the signal function. You got a stopwatch. Very simplistic. Start. Stop. Reset. Start. Split. Go again. Split. Stop. Go again. Reset. Okay. You got the timer function. Now, once you're in the timer function, timer setting function, you can actually stop it and reset it. And then you can adjust the timer function by pressing the adjust button. Okay. We don't want an hour. Oh, you press that. And what I'm going to do is, so that we can hear the vibration function, I'm actually going to turn it downwards, Marco. You silly idiot. You buffoon. And I'm going to set it for about 2 minutes just so we can hear that vibration. And do that. Press the adjust again to come out of that mode. And then you're back to the start. It does have a different beep for the original menu. So when you're back to the main menu, if you were in the dark, complete pitch black, you can hear when you're back to the main menu, back to the light, the normal screen. And that saves you using your light all the time in the dark. Okay, let's start that 2-minute timer. So those are the functions. The form, as I said, it's a big old piece. You know, it is, as I would say, about 17 or 18 millimeters tall. A good 50 mil wide, 45, 48 lug to lug, easily. It's just a big old watch. G-Shocks are what they are. There is the shape of it, which is the other thing I liked, is it's kind of a cross between a round and a square 5600. It's kind of a cross between I think it's the 5900 and the 5600 series. The 56 is the original square with a slight cut off the corners, but it's also with this button at the bottom, a lot like the 50. I think it's the 5700 actually. There, the vibration function is strong enough to wake me up, and I'm quite a sound sleeper. I won't say I was a heavy sleeper, but I'm a sound sleeper. And we're going to try and listen out for that now. I'm going to put it on the table, and then I'm just going to go into the negative that I feel with all these watches, actually, the G-Shock watches, which is these flappy things at the back that tend to pull the hairs out of my arm somewhat. And I'm actually going to remove them at some point. I haven't done just to do the video, so I've actually put up with them just for you guys. So here's the vibration. There's the vibration noise. And that's literally as long as it does it. I haven't turned that off. It just does it for that length of time. So yeah, there it is. We've got the black background with the yellow writing. People, some of the reviews online for this were that they couldn't see the writing at all times of the day. I think those people perhaps had maybe they were a bit had eyesight problems. They were slightly older folks. I don't know. I know my eyesight's gotten a bit worse as I've gotten older. That does happen. But I can still see this, you know. And I'll show you now, is that there is very little light getting in there, but you can still see. There's no light getting in except for the top. And, you know, as long as there's a bit of light shining on it, you can see the digits, can't you? I have no problem seeing it. In fact, somebody once said to me, somebody on one of the reviews actually said that if you compare it to a normal watch in exactly the same illumination light, you'll find that this is more visible. And it's absolutely correct. Absolutely correct. If you put one of these negative displays next to a normal LCD display, you'll find that this one is more visible. Okay? The only reason we say that these are less visible, or that we don't like them because they're less visible, is because of the black screen, and also because we've become used to how visible a normal LCD screen is. So have a little try that. If you've got one of these, put it on your arm next to a normal watch, and in the evening at home, and have a look which one's the easiest one to see. Because I've done it with a Timex and this one was more visible. Okay, I don't mean more visible in general. I just meant it was visible in more instances. So the watch was facing the same way, where it was just catching the light, and I could see the digits on this clearer than I could on the other one. I was having to physically get closer to the other watch in order to try and see it. Okay, so let's take you through this. It's got a massive old strap on it. It is, I would say, about 20 mil, leading up to about 35 mil. Yeah, about 35 mil. I've just measured it. I've measured it up against the screen of my 40 mil Rakita. So yeah, it's about 35 mil at the lugs. The lugs on these aren't actually the lugs, as we all know. You can see it's well worn there, can't you? Bloody hell, Mark. Could have washed it before the show. But there's the actual lugs. If you look inside there, you can just see the actual lugs are about 16 mil. I've contemplated getting a cage for this, but they're very expensive. The J's and K's cage. It's got a nice G-Shock embossed crown. Embossed logo on the buckle. Very nice. A double tang buckle as well. As I said, it comes with the useless wings, which is actually more comfortable when I remove them. But that, again, it might be down to the fact that my wrist is quite a big wrist. It's 7.5 inches. Sometimes, depending on how bloated I am, it can be close to 7 3/4 of an inch, depending on what state of bloatedness I am in terms of drinking, etc., etc. You know, if I ever drink it, if I eat certain foods, I actually swell up a little bit. So some days it varies, but 7.5 inches, and I feel like these are unnecessary. So they will be coming off. I just need to get some screws that fit these, which, again, that might be another video later on. The screws in the actual casing are 4 screws on the back. This is not it's not a atomic clock watch, nor is it a solar powered watch. It is simply a battery powered G-Shock with 5 years. I think it's probably got 5 years battery life on this one. Maybe less, actually, because of the vibration. It's probably 2 years. But for me, the solar is just something else to worry about, and that's why I chose not to go with that on this particular occasion. So there it is. There it is, the G-Shock GD-350. For me, one of the best Casio G-Shocks out there. It really is, and I feel like it's actually a little bit underrated in the shops. I got this as a kind of sneaky bargain on eBay. I found this for £42.50, I think, because the gentleman who sold it, or the lady or the person who sold it, didn't put Casio G-Shock in the title, or they missed something out of the title. So it meant that not many people searched correctly for it. So there it is. The Casio GD-350 vibration alarm watch. There are other reviews online. Have a little look at it. My opinion is that this is one of the best. If you in this vibration alarm watch, if you had the atomic time function in this, it'd be perfect. As it stands, I'll just show you the wrist. I did a wrist check accuracy report on it. A watch check accuracy report on the watch check app, and it is phenomenal. It loses 0.1 of a second. 0.1 of a second per day it's losing. And I'm assuming that there's a good chance that during the summer months it might actually gain 0.1 of a second per day and actually go back to an equilibrium come next winter. So I'm going to check. I'm going to keep checking. I've just decided I was going to do one a month now, but I am wearing this quite often, as the dirty strap shows. It is my new beta watch. Not that I don't condone the use of that particular saying. I don't like the idea of a beta watch. I look after all my watches equally. It's just that I wear one for work because it's made for work. I wear one as a tool because it's made for a tool. To be a watch that is used in work. It's not necessarily a beta watch. I hate that terminology that you're going to beat it up. Okay, thanks very much for watching. I'm going to put this on now. I hope you enjoyed it. Please comment, rate and subscribe. And as always, please do come again.